Who were those before us? The question sounds simple, but the moment you truly take it seriously, the entire origin story of humanity begins to crack. Because when we say those before us, are we only talking about a few tribes in history? Or about an older stage whose memory has been erased, leaving only broken traces? Let us hold that question for a moment and remember the Qur'an's sharpest emphasis on this subject. The Qur'an confronts us directly. Travel through the earth and see what was the end of those before you. And it intensifies the blow by saying they were stronger than you in Surah Ghafir. The meaning is clear and brief. Have they not traveled through the land and seen what was the end of those before them? They were stronger than them. That single sentence opens a door. The Qur'an doesn't talk about the past to create nostalgia, but to awaken the present. It's saying there were others before you. They were stronger than you. And even their traces disappeared. This cracks the armor of modern human arrogance. And pay attention, the language of the Qur'an is never random. Certain peoples aren't just mentioned as those who lived in the past. Their power, grandeur, structure, city emphasized. This challenges the mental image of primitive people living simple lives, when the people of Adar, described with the phrase Iram of the pillars, it doesn't sound like a simple nomadic tale. It points to a civilization with architecture, order, and magnificence. When Thamud is described as carving homes out of mountains, this evokes engineering skill, not tent life. And Pharaoh isn't just a tyrant, but a system and economy, power, propaganda, fear, and structure almost like an early version of a modern state. The message isn't just look what happened back then, but this model always exists, and you can be drawn into it too. But there's a critical turning point here. If we limit those before us to just Ad, Thamud, or the people of Noah and Lot, we miss the deeper question. Were these the first and only great civilizations, or is there a broader past being hinted at? Sometimes directly, sometimes between the lines. The Qur'an leaves open the unsettling possibility that human history isn't a single, uninterrupted line, but a series of resets, breaks, and new beginnings. The flood of Noah is the clearest example. It's presented not just as the dispersal of a people, but as a cleansing of the entire world. Something had become deeply corrupted, and a new beginning was inevitable. What was that corruption? And why does the flood narrative echo across so many different cultures? The question of those before us isn't just about earlier civilizations, but about who was here before humanity. The Qur'an clearly states that the jinn were created before humans, made from a smokeless fire. This alone opens a vast door. The earth was not an empty stage waiting for us. The stage was already set. Then there's the moment when God tells the angels, "I will place a vicegerent on earth." The angels respond, essentially asking, "Will you place one there who will cause corruption and shed blood?" This is a heavy question. It implies prior knowledge or some kind of precedent. Islamic thought has offered two main approaches. Either the angels knew this through divine knowledge, or there had been a prior experience on earth before humans. The second approach inevitably brings up discussions about the jinn and even narrations about beings that existed before humanity. There is a delicate balance here. The Qur'an clearly affirms that jinn existed before humans and that the earth did not begin with us. Beyond that lies interpretation. Some read accounts of pre-human corruption literally, others symbolically. But regardless of the interpretation, one fact remains. Humanity did not arrive on a blank stage. We entered a pre-existing arena. This transforms the question from one about lost cities to an ontological one. There is a pre-human memory embedded in the earth itself. Turning to the Torah, the beginning is also not as smooth as we might assume. Creation starts with a formless earth and a process of ordering chaos. But shortly afterward, a mysterious passage appears about the sons of God and the daughters of men along with the Nephilim, describing a world filled with violence and corruption before the flood. Why introduce such an extraordinary category if history were just a simple, linear expansion from Adam? This leads us naturally to the Book of Enoch, though considered apocryphal by many. The Book of Enoch deeply influenced early Jewish and Christian thought. It tells us of the Watchers who descended, interacted with humans, and taught forbidden knowledge. This knowledge led to technological advancement, metalworking, weaponry, warfare, but also to moral collapse. Power increased, but wisdom did not. Technology grew, but mercy did not. The result was chaos, violence, and ultimately the flood. This pattern feels strikingly familiar today. Knowledge and technology accelerate. Yet our moral equilibrium struggles to keep pace. When we step back, we see a shared pattern. The Qur'an's warning about those who were stronger, the Torah's account of corruption before the flood, and Enoch's theme of forbidden knowledge. They all converge on a central question: has humanity reached great heights before, only to fall afterward? Flood narratives appear across cultures from Gilgamesh to many others, suggesting that humanity didn't forget a great rupture. It preserved the memory of it in different languages and symbols. The question of who lived before humanity operates onto levels: metaphysical and prehistorical. Metaphysically, there are angels, jinn, and unseen orders. Prehistorically, there were ecosystems and cycles before humans emerged. The Quranic term Khalifa means not only ruler, but successor. Successor to what? The Qur'an doesn't provide a detailed list. Yet, the presence of jinn and the angel's question expands the discussion beyond lost civilizations to prior layers of existence. The Qur'an shows us pre-human beings, the jinn. The Torah introduces a rupture, the Nephilim. Enoch elaborates on forbidden knowledge and collapse. All of them suggest that humanity's entrance was not onto a completely blank page. The deeper point in these narratives is not about technology, but morality. Civilizations don't just collapse from external catastrophes. They collapse from internal decay, arrogance, injustice, and corruption. The creation narrative in the Quran presents humanity as being defined by knowledge. We are taught the names of things, granted awareness, but we also have weakness, forgetfulness, and impulsiveness. We are capable of both rising and falling. The Torah's forbidden tree motif also centers on boundaries and knowledge. In Enoch, forbidden knowledge plays the same role. Across these traditions, the theme repeats: humans cross limits, and consequences follow. Some interpretations even see the forbidden tree as symbolically connected to lineage and the hybridization themes seen in discussions. Of the Nephilim, an issue we'll explore in another video. Returning to the Quranic warning, those before you were stronger, this confronts our modern arrogance head-on. Others once claimed progress and power. Where are they now? The Qur'an repeats this warning because humanity's greatest weakness is forgetfulness. History is a graveyard of civilizations that believed they were permanent. The flood is not just a story about water. It is the closing of an archive, the erasure of a memory. If there was a flood, what existed before it? The Qur'an, the Torah, and Enoch all describe a period of prolonged corruption followed by an inevitable end. Together, these fragments form a larger, more coherent picture. In Islamic tradition, there are narrations that the jinn lived on earth before humans. Some read these literally, others symbolically. But the essential truth remains. Humanity does not begin from zero. We enter a stage that was already set. Humanity may be more than just a biological species, perhaps. We are part of a cosmic test. When knowledge inflates without inner balance, a civilization may self-destruct. Humans are created, taught, given will, and given limits. We cross those limits and bear the consequences. Whether you see it as a punishment or a new beginning, Earth becomes a laboratory for moral testing, a place for justice, mercy, restraint, and humility. Civilizational collapse often begins not with an external disaster, but with internal corruption. The external catastrophe is just the final blow. So, the question, who were those before us, isn't really about the past. It's about the present. If stronger civilizations vanished, what guarantees that we won't? If one archive closed, who ensures another won't? If knowledge once grew without wisdom and led to collapse, can we honestly claim that we are any different? Perhaps the real issue is not identifying who came before us, but asking who we are becoming. Sacred texts and ancient memories all repeat a single warning. The moment humanity believes it stands at the pinnacle of history, the fall begins. The command to travel the earth and see the end of those before you is not an invitation for an archaeological tour. It's a call to consciousness and perhaps a final warning. When we look at ancient ruins, we shouldn't just marvel at how old they are. We should tremble at how fragile they were. Because those before us are not just figures of the past, they may be a mirror of our future. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video.